Good evening, everyone. Welcome to the Liquor Control Commission meeting for Monday, May 17th, 2021. Please rise for the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Clerk Brady, roll call, please.
Commissioner Kruger?
Present.
Commissioner Lang?
Here.
Commissioner Papantos?
Present.
Commissioner Raffato?
Here.
Commissioner Vito?
Here.
Commissioner Vogel?
Here.
Chairperson Horker?
Here. You have before you the minutes of the special meeting of the Liquor Commission for April 19th, 2021. I need a motion for their approval.
So moved.
Motion, Trustee Papantos. Second.
Second.
Trustee Raffato. Roll call, please.
Commissioner Kruger?
Yes.
Commissioner Lang?
Yes.
Commissioner Papantos?
Yes.
Commissioner Raffato?
Yes.
Commissioner Vito?
Yes.
Commissioner Vogel?
Yes.
Chairperson Horker?
Yes. Do we have any citizens' concerns or comments?
No, not at this time.
Thank you, Clerk. Mr. Spondilis, something with item 6A?
Yes, thank you. I'd like to request a motion to pull item 6A from the agenda as it is not ready for consideration.
So moved.
Second.
Motion, Trustee Raffato.
Commissioner.
Sorry, thank you. Commissioner Raffato. Second, Commissioner Kruger. Roll call, please.
Commissioner Kruger?
Yes.
Commissioner Lang?
Yes.
Commissioner Papantos?
Yes.
Commissioner Raffato?
Yes.
Commissioner Vito?
Yes.
Commissioner Vogel?
Yes.
Chairperson Horker?
Yes. Items 6B and C, Clerk Brady, please read both of them.
6B, consideration of a request for a Class L liquor license by Wheeling Commercial Development LLC, doing business as Wheeling Town Center, for an event to be held at Wheeling Town Center Plaza, May 21st, 22nd, and June 10th, 2021. What is it? 6C, consideration of a request for a Class L liquor license, Wheeling Commercial Development LLC, doing business as Wheeling Town Center, for an event to be held at Wheeling Town Center Plaza, June 25th, July 10th, and date to be determined.
Thank you, Clerk Brady. Mr. Spondilis, what do we have?
Thank you. Before you this evening are two requests for a total of 5 different dates that Wheeling Town Center is planning to host for a concert series that they are looking to promote throughout these dates in the summer. As you know, a Class L liquor license allows the sale of beverages by licensed holders, i.e. the restaurants in this case, but allows those beverages to be consumed outside the borders of the restaurant themselves. So in this case, the green space plaza, that is the main thoroughfare of Town Center. Mr. Friedman is here and can give you a little more detail. To get ahead of a question, the way our code is written, Class L allows up to 9 dates per year in 3-date increments, which is why there's an item B and an item C. So there's a total of 5 planned events so far, and we needed to break them into 2 items to cover each of those dates.
Thank you, Mr. Spondilis.
I don't have much to say. We've been wanting to do live music and events in the plaza really ever since we, started the project. We feel like now is a good opportunity to take advantage of that, try and get people out there. So I'm here, for the Class L liquor license based on the advice that was given to me from, the staff members. So if you guys have any questions for me, Mary.
Commissioner Papantos, please go right ahead.
Thank you. It sounds like a great idea. Just out of curiosity, what will the hours be? And Are all the restaurants serving? Are they doing specialty drinks, or is it just going to be?
So CMX hasn't reopened yet. CMX is planning to open on May 28th. So for this upcoming weekend, they obviously will not be serving. But then for the future events, CMX will be serving in addition to CityWorks, Mia's. Arctic Spoon doesn't have a liquor license, so they're just going to be doing ice cream. Meat and Potato has not opened yet. They're planning to open up the first week of June. I believe they have a beer and wine license, so they will probably be serving in future events as well. That's really about it in terms of liquor consumption.
Will the restaurants also be serving food to go outside, or?
They will be serving food. Like CityWorks is just going to be serving in their table areas. They are going to be putting some additional tables outside of their zone, to capture the audience. And Mia's is going to be doing the same. I think I've encouraged both of them to, put out some bar carts for, quick sales. So we're still working through the logistics of that.
And when is it, what are the hours? When does it start and when does it end?
So Friday, the band is going to be playing from approximately 7 to 9. On Saturday, we have two bands. One of them is going to be playing from 3 to 5, and then the headliner is going to be playing from, again, 7 to 9 approximately.
Great, thank you.
Okay.
Thank you, Commissioner Papantos. Commissioner Raffato?
Thank you. Great idea. It's a really good idea, like this idea. But I have a question about the license L. So, John, you said there's 9 events that under Class L?
Yes, Class L establishes the opportunity for up to 9 events annually.
So do they have to then come back for the next 3 when
Yes.
it occurs?
Yes,
Okay. All right.
the next 4.
Yeah, we don't have dates yet for future events. We obviously plan to have more events. We were kind of waiting to see what, the CDC guidelines were going to be, but obviously everything's opening up now. So we are starting to get a lot of additional requests from music acts that want to play. And then based on the experience that we see this weekend, we'll start to book more. And listen, hopefully we're going to do more than just live concerts, farmers market, art fairs, festivals, anything that, you guys want to get involved in, or, it's here to serve the community. So, that's what ultimately we want to do. We want to make the space available to everybody.
Great. Thank you.
Trustee Vito?
Yeah, so I'm just, on that note, what's the park district's license that they have that they can sell whenever?
The code language that the park district operates under is specific for the park district. So we've talked about that, and should this continue next year, we will create something specific that will allow everything Mr. Friedman just said that will be captured under one license. But for now, the license that the park has is written that alcoholic beverages will be served from and it lists the ballpark, concession stand. It's specific for the park district. So what we would mirror that language, but make it applicable to a use like this.
Okay.
Got a couple ahead of you. Commissioner Kruger?
Thank you, Mr. President. Brad, where will you be advertising for these events?
So we've hired someone to handle our, social media advertising on Facebook and Instagram, and then emails, and they're building up a constant contact database. So that's...
So do you have a bookings contact if a band would be interested?
Yeah, I also have a bookings contact. A lot of times people will just, reach out to the info at Wheeling Town Center. I do see those emails, and then I, forward them on to Jeff Sodikoff from Aim and Amplify. He's helping us with a lot of our bookings.
Thank you.
So, and you've got my contact if you ever want to reach out to me and get additional info.
You bet. Thank you.
Sure.
Thank you, Commissioner Kruger. Commissioner Papantos?
Thank you. Just on the license again, wouldn't it make more sense to alter the license that the park uses to be more inclusive or less inclusive? So that, because it sounds like they're doing exactly the same thing of having concerts in the park or concerts on
I
the
think
square.
ultimately that's a question that the commission has to answer, or I guess the board, because you'd have to change the code. I think staff's recommendation would be to keep it as narrow as possible, just because you want to make sure that if you're going to grant blanket licenses for liquor to be served sort of ad hoc, you want to make sure that you are okay with that happening.
It just seems like we're getting a whole lot of liquor license classes.
Oh, most certainly we are. I don't foresee another situation like the one before you tonight. There's really not a lot of opportunity for it, so I think this would be our last. But ultimately, it's a board decision.
If I may, one of the concerns with special events is law enforcement particularly wants to be sure that it can control the service of liquor to prevent it to underage individuals. So a plan is submitted to show how that is going to be prevented, or liquor from being passed over ropes or things of that nature. So having a licensee come in like this for a special event where it's, liquor is going to be served in different places in different manners is a good practice. It's a good practice so that you can, and the staff can, be sure that there's controls in place to prevent, ideally, underage drinkers.
Thank you.
If there are no further questions or comments, we need a motion.
If I may, any motion to be made conditioned upon the payment of all associated fees.
And we'll do a motion on one item at a time. 6B first.
So moved.
Second?
Commissioner Rufato. Second goes to Commissioner Papantos. Clerk Brady, roll call, please.
Commissioner Kruger?
Yes.
Commissioner Lang?
Yes.
Commissioner Papantos?
Yes.
Commissioner Rufato?
Yes.
Commissioner Vito?
Yes.
Commissioner Vogel?
Yes.
Chairperson Horker?
Yes, now item C.
So moved.
Motion for approval. I'm sorry. Thank you, Commissioner.
Second.
Commissioner Vogel gets the motion, Commissioner Kruger gets the second. Roll call, please.
Commissioner Kruger?
Yes.
Commissioner Lang?
Yes.
Commissioner Papantos?
Yes.
Commissioner Rufato?
Yes.
Commissioner Vito?
Yes.
Commissioner Vogel?
Yes.
Chairperson Horker?
Yes, thank you. Good luck.
All right, I'll stop by tomorrow and make the payments at the finance department downstairs. Okay, thanks, guys. Hope to see you out there.
That concludes the Liquor Commission meeting for the evening. I need a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Motion, Commissioner Rufato, second, Commissioner Kruger. All in favor?
Aye.
Meeting adjourned. I'd like to call to order the regular meeting of the Village of Wheeling for May 17th, 2021. Clerk Brady, roll call, please.
Trustee Kruger?
Present.
Trustee Lang?
Here.
Trustee Papantos?
Present.
Trustee Rufato?
Here.
Trustee Vito?
Here.
President Horker? Oh, wait, sorry. Trustee Vogel?
One more.
Here.
President Horker?
There we go. I'm here. You have before you the minutes of the regular meeting of May 3rd, 2021. I need a motion for their approval.
So moved.
Motion, Trustee Papantos.
Second.
Trustee Vogel. Roll call, please.
Trustee Kruger?
Yes.
Trustee Lang?
Yes.
Trustee Papantos?
Yes.
Trustee Rufato?
Yes.
Trustee Vito?
Yes.
Trustee Vogel?
Yes.
President Horker?
Yes. Mr. Spondelis, any changes to the agenda?
There are no changes this evening.
Excellent. Clerk Brady, proclamations.
Okay. Hold on, I'm sorry. National Public Works Week. Whereas the service provided by Public Works personnel in our community are an integral part of our citizens' everyday lives, and whereas the support of an understanding and informed citizenry is vital to the efficient operation of public works programs and systems, such as water, sewers, street, engineering, urban forestry, public buildings, and fleet maintenance. And whereas the health, safety, and comfort of the community greatly depends on these facilities and services, especially in times of flooding, snow, and ice control or water distribution, for fire protection, business, and residential use. And whereas the quality and effectiveness of these facilities, as well as their planning, design, maintenance, and construction, are dependent upon the efforts and skills of public work employees. And whereas the efficiency of the qualified and dedicated personnel who staff public works departments is influenced and supported by citizens' attitudes and understanding of the importance of the work they perform. And whereas this year marks the 61st Annual National Public Works Week, sponsored by the American Public Works Association, APWA, Patrick Corker, President of the Village of Wheeling, does hereby proclaim May 17th through May 22nd, 2021 as National Public Works Week in Wheeling, and calls upon all citizens and civic organizations to acquaint themselves with the issues involved in providing our public works and recognize the contributions within public works employee make to our health, safety, welfare, and quality of life.
Thank you, Clerk Brady. Proclamation LGBTQ and Pride Month.
Okay. LGBTQ and Pride Month, June 2021. Whereas the Village of Wheeling cherishes the value and dignity of every person and appreciates the importance of equality and freedom. And whereas in the Village of Wheeling, all are welcome to live, work, and play. And every family of every shape, diverse, and place to call home deserves to put a place to call home where they are safe, happy, and supported by friends and neighbors. And whereas the village appreciates the culture, civic, and economic contribution of the lesbian, gay, bisexual, transgender, queer plus, LGBTQ community, which strengthens our social welfare. And whereas the village denotes prejudice and unfair discrimination based on age, gender, identity, gender expression, race, color, religion, marital status, national origin, sexual orientation, or physical attributes as an effort to our fundamental principle. And whereas Pride Month commemorates the anniversary of the Stonewall uprising in New York City, when LGBTQ people and their allies rose up against harassment and discrimination laws that have since been declared unconstitutional. And whereas it is imperative that young people in our community regarding of sexual orientation and gender identity and expression feel valued, safe, empowered, and supported by their peers and community leaders. And whereas despite a history of being marginalization, LGBTQ people continue to celebrate authentically and acceptance and love. Patrick Corker, President of the Village of Wheeling, does hereby proclaim June 2021 as LGBTQ Pride Month in the Village of Wheeling, and urges residents to recognize the contributions made by members of the LGBTQ community and to actively promote the principles of equality, liberty, and justice.
Thank you, Clerk Brady. Do we have any citizens' comments?
Yes, we do. Hold on. We just have one today. Citizens' concerns and comments. Members of the public may address the board with comments regarding issues relative to the village business. No citizen shall speak for more than 5 minutes without consent of the board. Members of the general public who wish to address the board must sign the request to speak form prior to commencement of the public meeting. And Adam Black.
Just as a reminder, this is a time for citizens to make comments and express their concerns and for the board to listen. Neither the board nor staff will be answering questions. Mr. Black?
Hi, everybody. I'm Adam Black. I'm actually here, excuse me, as a business owner, a new business owner here in Wheeling. I am a co-owner of Aroma Growth Store on 668 Wheeling Road. I'm actually here for a couple of reasons. Number one, my partner wishes he could be here, but he's actually teaching one of our free classes tonight. We are actually at the moment doing a three-class presentation of how to grow medical cannabis for medical patients under the law of the Illinois Cannabis Act that passed last year. And it's really cool to be part of something that we're teaching people to grow their own medicine, and that's something that is really important to me as a doctor. It's just really, it's been great being part of Wheeling. You guys have made it so easy to open here, to operate here, and we felt very welcome in the few months that we've been active here. So just wanted to thank you for that, number one. Number two, we have a grand opening ceremony that we're actually planning for June 5th, Saturday. We're starting at 10, it's running through 6. We have live music coming in at 1 o'clock. We're going to take over, weather permitting, the big parking lot that we have there available to us. There's going to be giveaways and a prize wheel and all that kind of good stuff. So basically just here to open an invitation to everyone that would like to come. Everyone in this room, of course, is welcome. Anyone that's watching live from home would be great. Again, Aroma Growth Store, 668 Wheeling Road. That's going to be Saturday, June 5th.
Thank you, sir. Clerk Brady, anyone else?
No.
Thank you, ma'am. We have no staff reports. That brings us to the consent agenda. Clerk Brady?
Resolution.
President,
Yes, sir.
we're going to have to adjust the consent due to A being removed from the liquor license.
We do. Thank you, Trustee Vogel. That is
11C.
7C. Would you like to make a motion to remove that?
We don't need a motion to do that.
No motion?
You can just do it without a motion, yes.
Well, do we want to remove it or do we want to change it? Because it also affects someone else. Does it not?
I don't think so. I think this was done for
Well,
Mo's Cantina, or Mo.
Well, what's the decrease for?
It's the increase, decrease.
Neither of these are for Mo's.
I don't think wasn't this for Mo's, the AV, the gambling cafe? I'm not sure it was.
Mo's was an N.
It's an AV, I believe.
They would have gone on a separate agenda, a future agenda anyway.
Let me pull it up.
Unless this is just a cleanup, this could be just.
This is just the cleanup for the year.
So we don't need to.
Mo's was N to V.
This is a cleanup. This is for Boston Fish, Wajo Sushi, and Jazz Cafe.
So it can stay.
So it can stay.
That doesn't hit Mo's at all.
Mo's isn't on there.
Okay,
Thank you, Trustee Vogel, but no thank you.
all right.
Clerk Brady, please read the consent agenda.
Resolution waiving competitive bid.
Start with 11 and then go to
Oh,
A.
I'm
It's
sorry.
all right.
All items listed on the consent agenda are considered to be routine by the village board and will be enacted by one motion. There will be no separate discussion of this items unless the board members or citizens so request. If which event, the item will be removed from the general order of business and considered after all the agenda items. 11A, resolution waiving competitive bidding and approving Amendment number 1 of the software license agreement with Municipal Systems, Inc. for the implication of municipal ordinance violation enforcement, MOVE, and municipal offense system, MOS, software programs. 11B, resolution authorizing acceptance of the state of Illinois previously bid contract with Dell Marketing for a 1-year renewal of Microsoft Office 365 software licensing in the total amount of $36,675.58. 11C, ordinance amending Chapter 4.32 of the Village of Wheeling Municipal Code, alcohol liquor dealers, specifically sections 4.32.085, to increase the authorized number of Class A through V and to decrease the authorized number of Class A and B1 liquor license. 11D, resolution waiving competitive bidding and approving a contract with Lane Christensen Company for the rehabilitation of well number 5 in the amount not to exceed $179,452 in year 2021. 11E, resolution authorizing change order number 1 and final to reduce the construction contract with Midwest Well Services, doing business as Municipal Well and Pump, from $537,000 to $81,659 for the Well 7 Improvement Program. 11F, resolution authorizing the execution of the Fifth Amendment to the service agreement between the Village of Wheeling and Andy Fron Services, Inc. for crossing guard services.
Unless anyone would like something discussed or removed, I need a motion for the approval of the consent agenda.
So moved.
Motion, trustee Papantos, second.
Second.
Trustee Rufato, roll call, please.
Trustee Kruger,
Yes.
trustee Lang,
Yes.
trustee Papantos,
Yes.
trustee Rufato,
Yes.
trustee Vito,
Yes.
trustee Vogel,
Yes.
President Horker.
Yes, 13A, we have a public hearing, request for a Cook County Class 6B real estate tax assessment for B&B Holiday Properties LLC, B&B Holidays Decorating LLC at 2048 South Foster Avenue. This is a public hearing for the public to make comments regarding the request for a 6B real estate tax assessment for 2048 South Foster Avenue. A public hearing notice was published in the Daily Herald. Each member of the public shall have 5 minutes to make their comments. During this time, the staff and the board will not answer questions. Comments should not be repetitive or argumentative. Are there any comments from the public relative to this issue? Crickets. Need a motion to
Close the
public hearing.
So moved.
Second.
Motion, trustee Kruger, second, trustee Papantos. Roll call, please.
Trustee Kruger,
Yes.
trustee Lang,
Yes.
trustee Papantos,
Yes.
trustee Rufato,
Yes.
trustee Vito,
Yes.
trustee Vogel,
Yes.
President Horker.
Yes, that leads us to B. Clerk Brady.
Consenting to a Cook County Class 6B real estate tax assessment for the property located at 2048 South Foster Avenue in the Village of Wheeling.
Mr. Ainsworth, what do we have?
Thank you, President Horker. As mentioned, this property is at 2048 South Foster Avenue. It's a one-story industrial building with a service parking lot zoned I3. The specific unit is a 10,500 square foot unit. There's actually 2 units in the one building, but each unit is on its own pin. So this before you tonight is just for a portion of the building. Again, the unit has its own address at 2048 South Foster Avenue with its own pin. The applicant is B&B Holiday Decorating. They're a full-service decorating business out of Des Plaines currently. They've outgrown their facility. They install holiday lights, decorations, and other festive items for municipalities, large shopping centers, businesses, and homes, and they do decorating for outside seating for restaurants. They have looked at this space and they are under contract to purchase it contingent upon getting a Class 6B. This specific property has been vacant for over 5 years. And with that, they're also applying for substantial rehabilitation. They would approximately insert $92,000 into the building to help repair the parking lot, replace the garage doors, do tuck pointing and roof repairs. The applicant is here. They do plan on adding more employees within the next couple of years. And staff finds that this is a warranted 6B. It seems to be net neutral for compared to a vacancy as compared to the 6B applied. Economic Development staff does recommend approval of this request.
Thank you, Mr. Ainsworth. Questions or comments? Trustee Lang, you had something?
Yes, is the owner present? Oh, there you are. Hi. Great business plan and opportunity. This looks like a perfect opportunity for you and us to perhaps do retail location out of your office. Is there any possibility for that?
Right now, we don't do any retail. We're a rental-based business that we're renting to our customers, but we are in active talks with manufacturers overseas to see if we can be a distributor for them here in the States to try to bring in some new products. So that's a possibility in the future. It's not something we currently offer.
Okay. Consider it strongly. It's something that we as a village have been looking at to try to expand some of our retail presence in the industrial zones. And this, like I said, would be a great opportunity for both of us.
Something we're looking at strongly as well because it's another revenue stream.
Yeah,
we haven't
excellent.
looked at.
Thank you.
Thank you, Trustee Lang. Any other questions? Left, right. Trustee Papantos, you had something, yes?
Thank you, and welcome to Wheeling. And from the packet, your employees are typically seasonal and they meet on site versus meet at the location where you're going to do the install, correct?
It's a combination. It depends on what type of project it is and where they're going. But yes, and our employees vary throughout the year. There's like, right now, we don't have many seasonal employees, but come November, that's when we staff up. And that's when if we're doing a municipality, we'll have them drive right to the municipality. And they'll be stationed there for a week or two at a time.
And do customers ever come in like to a showroom to see your displays or?
Our plan for the new space will have about 1,000 square foot showroom that we'll be able to invite people like yourselves to see the decorations in person, because some of these decorations you can't really get the feel for unless you see them in person and how large they are. So.
Great, thank you.
Thank you, Trustee Papantos. If there are no other questions or comments, we'd be looking for a motion to approve.
So moved.
Trustee Papantos, second.
Second.
Trustee Lang. So this is to approve the resolution. Clerk Brady, roll call, please.
Trustee Kruger?
Yes.
Trustee Lang?
Yes.
Trustee Papantos?
Yes.
Trustee Rafato?
Yes.
Trustee Vito?
Yes.
Trustee Vogel?
Yes.
President Horker?
Yes, congratulations. Welcome to the village.
Thank you.
Item C, this is a public hearing, request for Cook County Class 7A real estate tax assessment from 269 Milwaukee Avenue, LLC, at 269 South Milwaukee Avenue. This is a public hearing for the public to make comments regarding the request for Class 7A real estate tax assessment for 269 South Milwaukee Avenue. A public hearing notice was published in the Daily Herald. Each member of the public shall have 5 minutes to make their comments during this time. Staff and board will not be answering questions. Comments should not be repetitive or argumentative. Are there any comments from the public? For 269 South Milwaukee Avenue, going once. If there are no comments, I would like a motion to close the public hearing.
So moved.
Second.
Motion to Trustee Vogel, second to Trustee Kruger. Clerk Brady.
Trustee Kruger?
Yes.
Trustee Lang?
Yes.
Trustee Papantos?
Yes.
Trustee
Yes.
Trustee Vito?
Yes.
Trustee Vogel?
Yes.
President Horker?
Yes, please read items D and E together.
Resolution consenting to a Cook County Class 7A real estate tax assessment classification of the property located at 269 South Milwaukee Avenue in the village of Wheeling. Resolution declaring the properties located at 269 and 283 South Milwaukee Avenue as blight for proposal of the Cook County Class 7A property tax classification request.
Thank you, Clerk Brady. Mr. Ainsworth again. This is our first 7A, isn't it?
You stole my thunder. Yes.
I'm sorry. Back up.
Welcome to history, folks. This is the village's first Class 7A Cook County property tax classification request. So as mentioned, this is 269 South Milwaukee Avenue. This is the former La Francais property. It's been vacant for approximately 14 years based on our liquor license records. The petitioner is here under contract to purchase the property contingent again upon getting a Class 7A. Because the property's been vacant for so long, we are considering the freestanding building, the parking lot property only for the 7A tonight. He's looking to invest over about $400,000 into the roof, interior, exterior, parking lot, kitchen upgrades, bathroom facilities, et cetera. So it's a very extensive renovations. He has already been in discussions with community development about these upgrades. The petitioner is here. If there's any questions about the business model itself, it will be a sit-down restaurant with an emphasis on catering and for hosting private parties with for Polish fare, Polish recipes. And he brings with him over 16 years of experience. Actually, as a husband and wife team, they have a catering business and a cooking business as well. The name of the restaurant has not been determined yet, but the DBA so far is Alex Super Deli. That is an entity out of Chicago that is looking to move and relocate to this growing facility. They will be bringing approximately 15 employees with them and adding 5 more. I did confirm with them that they will be parking in shifts and they'll be doing their cooking and their work hours in shifts given the parking that's there now. But a Class 7A is similar to a Class 6B, which we see frequent here. It is a 12-year property tax reduction. As like a 6B, it reduces the property tax to 10% for the first 10 years, and then it creeps back up in years 11 and 12 to that 25% assessment. With that, staff does find that this is a net neutral and yet positive because we'll get potentially food and beverage tax, sales tax, employees operating out of this business that's, again, been sitting vacant for 14 years, private capital investment to see a modernized building, and without this incentive, it would probably still sit vacant. It is mid-block. It has been in an area that has not seen some attention for some time. To help qualify this property for a Class 7A under Cook County Ordinance, the village board also, as you heard, has to have a resolution declare the area blighted. It's not a new TIF, it's not anything, just an area that just needs some attention, essentially. So with that, staff does recommend the village board to recommend approval of the 7A and to declare the area blighted. Again, I'm happy to answer any questions you may have, given this is our very first one, and the petitioners and their 6B attorney is here as well.
Thank you. Trustee Papantos, you had a question?
Thank you, and it's both for the petitioner and for Director Ainsworth. On the declaring of blighted, so anybody who comes in for a 7A, that building will have to be declared blighted?
So, yes and no. If a property is in a TIF district, that already went through a feasibility analysis and a village board approval process way back when we established a TIF to declare that property within a blighted area. This is not a new TIF. This is simply the same, similar standards applied, which was in the packet, that 7A feasibility analysis to show it is an obsolete building because it is 44 years old, it is mid-block, it is part of it's in the floodplain and floodway, so it makes it rather hard to add that in there. This 7A is a Cook County, the declaration of blight is a Cook County ordinance requirement. So there's a little bit of a higher test to pass in order to get a Class 7A.
Thank you. And then for the petitioners? The lawyers don't have to answer questions. First of all, thank you for coming to Wheeling. So is this more of a carry-out if I wanted just to pick up something, or is it a sit-down restaurant? Just describe your business to me, please.
Sit-down restaurant.
You need to step to the mic or people can't hear you.
Sit-down restaurant with carry-out.
Okay, and so what's on the menu?
We have all different types of.
Is it mainly ethnic?
Excuse me?
Is it mainly Polish ethnic, like pierogi?
No, it's gonna be mixed. It's gonna be mixed.
Great.
European and American, you know.
Not from my
Little
name,
bit of
but I am
everything.
Polish. So it beats driving into the city. Thank you.
Thank you, Trustee Papantos. Any other questions or comments? If we have no other questions, we can move forward with the approval portion. I need a motion to approve the consenting to the Class 6A real estate tax assessment classification.
So moved.
Item D, that's Mr. Trustee Rufato.
Second.
Second, Trustee Vogel. Clerk Brady, roll call, please.
Trustee Kruger,
Yes.
Trustee Lang,
Yes.
Trustee Papantos,
Yes.
Trustee Rufato,
Yes.
Trustee Vito,
Yes.
Trustee Vogel,
Yes.
President Horker.
Yes, and then I need a motion to approve Resolution E declaring the property located at 269 and 283 South Milwaukee as blighted for the purposes of the Cook County Class 7A property tax classification request.
So moved.
Trustee Lang,
Second.
second. Trustee Kruger, roll call, please.
Trustee Kruger,
Yes.
Trustee Lang,
Yes.
Trustee Papantos,
Yes.
Trustee Rufato,
Yes.
Trustee Vito,
Yes.
Trustee Vogel,
Yes.
President Horker.
Yes. Good luck. Welcome. Clerk Brady, item F.
A resolution awarding a Wheeling Restaurant and Retail Build-Out assessed grant for the property at 727 West Dundee Road in the Village of Wheeling.
Director Ainsworth, please.
Thank you, President Horker, and another night for first. This is our first grant application under the new restaurant, the Wheeling Restaurant Retail Build-Out Assistance Grant. The applicant is Pearl Vision, Dr. Portnoy, who's been in establishment here since 1982. They are looking to spend about $23,721 on the parking lot, and you may recall that this was discussed the last time they were here. They had gotten an exterior grant for their landscaping signage and some exterior facade improvements. Under the new grant, they do qualify for this, being a sales tax producing business, and we have that new threshold where we cover 50% of materials, 25% of labor under this new program, so therefore they are requesting the $6,475 for this. This is within the Town Center 2 TIF district, which is one of the 2 TIF districts where this grant program is taken from, and they will be upgrading the parking lot to as soon as possible if the grant is approved. I'm happy to answer any questions you may have.
No questions. And he's all set.
I'm looking forward to that parking lot. And hopefully some of your neighbors will catch the bug too.
Well, Goodyear has done it already since they reopened, and actually we're using the same contractor as the donut store, who just did theirs, several months ago.
Great.
But it'll be nice.
Your building is nice already. The new signage looks great.
Would you like to make the motion?
I do. So moved.
Thank you,
Second.
Trustee Lang. Second, Trustee Kruger?
Papantos.
Oh, Trustee Papantos? I wasn't looking. I can't get it right anyway. Trustee Papantos, second. Clerk Brady, roll call, please.
Trustee Kruger,
Yes.
Trustee Lang,
Yes.
Trustee Papantos,
Yes.
Trustee Rufato,
Yes.
Trustee Vito,
Yes.
Trustee Vogel,
Yes.
President Horker.
Yes. Clerk Brady.
Ordinance granting special use approval to permit a recreation and instruction facility, European Judo Academy LLC at 9 Huntington Lane, docket number 2021-9.
Mr. Clicker, you're up.
Yes, before you have a request for a special use for Judo Academy at 9 Huntington. It was heard before the Plan Commission on April 28th. It did receive 5 affirmative votes with 2 conditions. One condition being the petitioner shall provide flame spread and smoke generation cut sheets for the mats that will be used for the classes, and the second condition is that the petitioner shall modify their business license to indicate an increase in the number of individuals above 12.
Questions or comments? Left, right, Nobody. Motion for approval.
So moved.
Second?
Motion trustee Rufato, second trustee Papantos. Clerk Brady, roll call, please.
Trustee Krueger?
Yes.
Trustee Lang?
Yes.
Trustee Papantos?
Yes.
Trustee Rufato?
Yes.
Trustee Vito?
Yes.
Trustee Vogel?
Yes.
President Horker?
Yes. Clerk Brady.
Ordinance granting major site plan and building appearance approval for a building addition at 275 Hintz Road, Fox Deluxe, docket number PC 21-10.
Mr. Clicker.
You have before you the request of Fox Deluxe, who is seeking a major site plan and building appearance approval for their addition that they're proposing for a 7,380 square foot building addition on the south side of their existing building. This was presented to the Plan Commission on April 28th for approval, and it was recommended for approval with 5 affirmative votes. There were 2 conditions also placed on this request, and then one was that the minimum caliper size of the proposed crabapple tree shall be 3-inch at the time of planting, and that 1 new looped water main section connecting the South Wolf Road water main and the looped water main for 135 East Hintz Road shall be provided along the south end of the parking lot east of the addition. A fire hydrant shall also be provided along this main by the southeast corner of the parking lot by the new truck and trailer parking area. Again, this was recommended for approval.
Thank you, Mr. Clicker. Questions or comments? Seeing nothing, motion for approval.
So moved.
Motion trustee Rufato, second.
Second.
Trustee Lang. Clerk Brady, roll call, please.
Trustee Krueger?
Yes.
Trustee Lang?
Yes.
Trustee Papantos?
Yes.
Trustee Rufato?
Yes.
Trustee Vito?
Yes.
Trustee Vogel?
Yes.
President Horker?
Yes. You're welcome. Good luck. Item I, Clerk Brady.
I'm sorry. Wait. Oh, sorry. Discussion regarding funding opportunities for capital projects.
What is this, Mr. Svandilis?
Thank you. While Mr. Kaup makes his way to the podium, I just want to make a few comments to introduce what we're talking about this evening. Wheeling is in a very unique position in that we have 2 opportunities that provide an influx of cash. The first is what we're discussing tonight, which is the Rebuild Illinois. The second is the American Rescue Plan, which, as you know, it comes out of the CARES Act, provides municipalities with a significant amount of money for infrastructure improvements. Actually, both of these deal specifically with infrastructure. We'll be talking about the American Rescue Plan at another time, but I bring it up now because the approach from staff for each of the 2 opportunities is the same, and that is it's trying to leverage the opportunity for the highest and best use for the community. And each of these come with significant monies. And so we're trying to approach it, we are approaching it both from a strategic, financial, and project-specific standpoint, because this is, again, a unique opportunity and one that allows us to make plans outside of the CIP. As you know, our CIP is quite robust. But this provides opportunity to do some planning and then take advantage of even further opportunities as Trustee Cal, I'm sorry, you just got a promotion, as Director Cal.
Demotion.
That's for you to say.
It's a significant pay cut.
Director Cal will explain, by being strategic with the moves that we make in assigning these dollars now, particularly as we're discussing tonight about the Rebuild Illinois, we're able to capture additional grant opportunities for these huge projects like Wheeling Road that aren't currently fully allocated within our CIP. So I just wanted to introduce both of these items, although we're only talking about Rebuild Illinois this evening, because the approach is the same for each of them. So I'm excited for tonight, and even more so when we talk about the American Rescue Plan at a future date. So with that, Director Kaup.
Thank you, Manager Svandilis. Good evening, President Horker, trustees. As Manager Svandilis so kindly introduced. I'm going to be speaking on 3 projects that have similarities in that they are not considered right now in our current CIP, but are large in scope and breadth. Because these projects are large without external funding consideration, they would have to be cut up into smaller, more disjointed, and by the nature of the scope, more expensive projects because of unit costs, compared to when they could be considered more holistically. With the recent advent of the state-funded capital infrastructure bill known as Rebuild Illinois, coupled with grant opportunities offered through the Chicago Metropolitan Agency for Planning, the Metro Mayor's Caucus, or I'm sorry, the Northwest Conference of Mayors, staff believes that the village will be able to more effectively leverage these external funding opportunities to maximize village resources for these ongoing projects. As Manager Svandilas said, the 3 specific projects that we'll be looking at is the reconstruction of Wheeling Road from Dundee Road all the way to the south of the village limits, Chaddock Drive street improvements, and then also Northgate Parkway street improvements. Rebuild Illinois is a bill that was passed in 2019 in an effort to address failing infrastructure across the state by way of infusing municipal capital funds with needed additional revenues. The state capital bill can be used for infrastructure improvement projects in a manner that is similar to our motor fuel tax funds and the programs that we've leveraged in the past through that funding opportunity. Wheeling is going to receive just south of $2.5 million over 3 years in 6 semi-annual installments. To date, we've received 3 of these installments, so we're halfway there. We already have about $1.25 million in the bank. These funds have to be expended by 2025. The Surface Transportation Program is a separate federal grant opportunity for municipalities. The project selection is managed by the Northwest Conference of Mayors, which submits their recommendation to the Chicago Metropolitan Agency for Planning. The shared funding is at an 80% federal and a 20% local match split for this grant opportunity. So whereas the Rebuild Illinois money is already money that we've received and will continue to receive over the 3 years, the Surface Transportation Program is something that we have to actively seek out by way of applying for it through CMAP by way of the Northwest Conference of Mayors. The eligible projects include traditional, what you would consider transportation infrastructure, including road construction. The STP application is a complex process, and while Phase 1 preliminary engineering is an eligible expense for this funding, project proposals show much better if the Phase 1 is already complete. It shows the Conference of Mayors that the municipality is serious about completing the project, and it also will then reflect more favorably in their recommendation of the project to CMAP for consideration for grant funding. The call for the projects occurs between January and March of every other year. And this is important because of the timing, both of the funding that we're looking at for Rebuild Illinois, and then our opportunity to be able to apply for the Surface Transportation Project grant funding. The next call for projects is this January. The following call will not be until 2024. So based on that timing, the application is, I guess what I'm trying to say is that it's a timing issue that we have to consider if we're going to pursue these funds currently.
Excuse me, is it on a first-come, first-served basis, or?
It's not. So it's an open enrollment. It's an open application period between January and March. The applications have a point system that the Conference of Mayors utilizes to rank the projects that are submitted. And based on those scores, they then make their recommendation based on funding availability for the grant opportunity. From what we understand right now, the call for projects has been light. The number of applications has been light. And in speaking with one of our consulting engineering firms, it appears that with the inclusion of our Phase 1 engineering for the Wheeling reconstruction, we would post favorably with an application. We would have a high point valuation.
Thank you.
Is the difference between the Rebuild Illinois, you said we have 2.5 million approximately coming, and then the STP funding, is the Rebuild Illinois, it has nothing to do with the 80% federal funding, right?
Correct.
In other words, we could take the 2.5, the entire 2.5, and if we got another 2 million or whatever we needed, 6 million for the Wheeling Road project,
Correct. That's precisely the idea that we're trying to pull together. We're trying to use this free, unanticipated Rebuild Illinois money that we've already received half of, and leverage that to more efficiently grow the amount of capital projects that we can complete with that smaller pot of money, and then turn that into a grant application that would result in 80% of the construction costs being paid for through the STP.
Of the balance after that, okay.
Yes.
Thank you.
Are we limited by the amount of projects that we can submit for?
Yes. Well, it's based on the nature of the projects, but really the limiting factor that we in a lot of communities have had is the cost of the upfront engineering for these larger projects limits the number of people who apply. There are certain communities who do this very well. Schaumburg, for instance, actually bonds for all of their Phase 1 engineering. This is not design engineering. That's Phase 2 engineering. This is preliminary engineering. This is the topographical study, the geotechnical understanding of the project area, so that you can appropriately apply for the permitting required by the IEPA, by the Army Corps of Engineers, and other permitting agencies that typically bog down the process and make it much more expensive. Because of that, many communities are less willing to even apply for this type of funding opportunity. With the advent of the Rebuild Illinois money, it gives us an opportunity to be able to expend those outside funds to be able to best leverage our opportunity to get more outside money.
Thank you.
Based on the conversations between both the village manager, the finance director, the village engineer, myself, staff believes that these two funding mechanisms will converge specifically on that one project. Wheeling Road is for the reconstruction, the stormwater improvements, the complete streets concept of better street lighting and other improvements. It carries a cost of almost $8.5 million. That's a lot of money, and based on the numbers that you've seen for the projects that we've presented in the past for road improvements, that is not typical of a project scope that we're typically used to. We would have to truncate that project, and what we would eventually incur are the higher unit costs based on that. Now, these projects are a few years out from needing to be completed right now, but because of the current call for projects coming from the STP program, with it being in January 2022, that funding would be next available in 2027. So any projects that are selected in 2022, the earliest those projects could be constructed would be 2027. That's about the time where we would be looking for these three projects. So the timing does line up well, and it would help us to fund these otherwise non-considered projects. Northgate Parkway and Chaddock Drive are both less expensive, and based on that $2.5 million award from Rebuild Illinois, the village would be able to pay for both design engineering and construction out of Rebuild Illinois. We would not have to touch our MFT money. Wheeling Road would be Rebuild Illinois money for Phase 1 and Phase 2, and then after that, it would be the surface transportation money. Here's a matrix showing just that. The first thing that would have to happen would be Wheeling Road, Phase 1 engineering kicking off soon. Likewise, staff would then bring later on this year to the board for consideration Phase 2 design engineering for Northgate Parkway and potentially Chaddock Drive as well, depending on the timing. The next steps for this, having the project Phase 1 engineering will allow the village to be well-positioned for the grant award next year. The Phase 1 engineering typically takes all of about 9 months based on the large amount of permitting required, as I mentioned. If this concept is approved by the Board of Trustees, staff would then be requesting an approval to retain the services of a consulting engineering to provide the Phase 1 engineering services and application submittals. They would take care of all the submittals for the village for Wheeling Road. Public Works will then request design engineering for Northgate Parkway and Chaddock Drive later on. And then, of course, as I mentioned, all of the engineering and the project construction costs would be covered by the Rebuild Illinois funds that we've already received half of. And really the goal of this proposal is to complete roughly $10 million in capital infrastructure improvement projects for just less than $1.6 million in local funds not considered by Rebuild Illinois. I just threw a lot at you, and I'm happy to answer any questions that you may have.
Is there a time limit on the Rebuild Illinois money? I know there's strict guidelines as to what it can be used for, but are there time limits that it has to be used by a certain time frame?
There is. It has to be used by 2025.
Trustee Lang was patiently waiting.
Thank you. So, did I hear correctly that there is some, it does cover design, some of the funding. How about aesthetics and like streetscape, for instance? An example. Years ago, we rebuilt this bridge over by Dundee Road here, and we built a bridge. And I can't say meat and potatoes bridge, because we got a wonderful restaurant coming, but it's a plain vanilla bridge. And later on, we built a bridge over on the Milwaukee Lake Cook, and it has some design to it. It has some good looks to it. I could see Northgate and even Wheeling Road having some sort of streetscape design to it as well, because they're well-traveled roads, especially Northgate. And a lot of folks from other communities travel through those roads. Would that be covered? Streetscape and aesthetics and design to some of these projects?
Sure. So the short answer to your question is yes. Any component of a project that would otherwise be considered transportation, infrastructure in nature would be covered. And so when you're talking about design, one of the things that we're going to be bringing in front of the board in the coming meetings is an ordinance adopting a complete streets program. It's rote in nature simply because it's one of the requirements for being able to apply for surface transportation project grant funding. But what it also does is contemplate the importance of complete streets. That includes bike paths, street lighting, traffic calming, and also design features, including landscaping or any other feature of a road program. The other nice thing, though, is even for facets of a project that may not be covered, what we'll be doing is we'll be transitioning the funding source for these necessary projects away from our capital fund and away from our motor fuel tax fund, which will free up those funds for us to contemplate other uses as well. As I said, these projects aren't going to be built, or at least the Wheeling Road project wouldn't be built until 2027 and 2028. And so we would not be touching the road program monies that would otherwise have to be leveraged for that. So we will have a little bit of elasticity to consider other uses.
Excellent. Thank you.
Thank you, Trustee Lang. Any other? Trustee Rufato.
Thank you. So we're currently after our 6 semi-annual payments, we're going to have $2.48 million from Rebuild Illinois. Now, I was just confused. Can that be used for the Phase 1 work? If you can go back to the table right here. So the $375,000, that's Rebuild Illinois money. So then, out of all of these dollars here, what else is Rebuild Illinois? Nothing?
Sure, no, and I apologize for transitioning away from this slide so quickly. The Rebuild Illinois, so on the left side, you'll see the year and as well as the funding mechanism. So everything that's in the top line for each year is Rebuild Illinois. So the Wheeling Road Phase 1 would be Rebuild Illinois, as is the Phase 2 for Wheeling Road next year. Then you have all of the Northgate Parkway costs, which include design engineering and construction would be Rebuild Illinois. And then finally for Chaddock Drive, the design engineering and the construction.
Okay. So what is, bottom line, what is our out of pocket? Is that the 1.6 million that you had on the last page?
Correct. So the only thing, if you then look down to years 2027 and 2028, that's the time between when we would apply and be given notice of award, and the time when the funds actually become available through the STP grant program. The 80-20 split would be, and we've broken the projects up into two because there's a $5 million project cost maximum for contemplation and award through the STP program. So we would break that up into two so that we would be able to leverage that full 80% for the entire construction cost. And then what you have there is the 80-20 split. So we would be responsible locally for the $770,000 twice for the first phase of construction and the second phase. And these are engineers' probable cost estimates at a very early stage for this very large, cumbersome, and many moving parts project. These numbers will be refined as we move along.
So, and then just finally, so these three projects would be submitted by January of 2022 or between?
Yes, so we have two things here. Wheeling Road would be leveraging the Rebuild Illinois for Phase 1 and Phase 2. We would be putting together an application by January of 2022 for that project. The other two projects would be paid for essentially locally, just as if they were a motor fuel tax project, but instead of the local motor fuel tax monies paying for those projects, it would be the Rebuild Illinois money.
Okay, good. Thank you.
Mr. Svandulis is excited.
I'm very excited. I'd just like to add two things to that. To the point of timing, in fact, we'll have a contract on consent at the next meeting to begin that Phase 1 work. So this is moving very quickly. And two, just so that everyone is aware, first of all, this is, I think, a fantastic slide, but these enormous numbers that you see related to Wheeling Road and Northgate Parkway, in 25 years, you're going to see the same thing for Wolf Road, which is the net effect of the jurisdictional transfer that really we had no choice on. But you see how the responsibility is being pushed locally, and very plainly now you can see how much of an encumbrance that is locally. Because without any of these major, in this case, thankfully, influxes of cash from the state and the federal government, I don't know how anyone could keep up with that. Because if you were to, say, surf every year and start saving for it, you know, you're talking 25 years from now, $500,000 a year just to start saving for Wolf Road. And that's a bit ridiculous. But so, again, more opportunity and more reason to try and squeeze an awful lot out of a small lemon.
Trustee Kruger.
Thank you. Were you finished?
Yep.
I'm sorry.
You can be next.
No, I'm done. Go ahead.
Director Cow, if it were not for the STP and the Restore Illinois programs, when would these projects have been done?
They're both outside, or all three of them are outside of the CIP, and so, but not far outside of the CIP. So in the realm of the time that we're actually talking about doing them.
Okay, so, all right. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you, Trustee Kruger. So just out of curiosity, educate me. The money that the state's going to keep from us from the income tax, would that have gone to pay for something like this?
The income tax?
Yeah, the money they're going to take from us.
The money that they're taking from the village?
The income tax that they don't feel like sharing.
Oh, yes, no comment.
This is a better deal.
Yes.
This is a better deal.
This is a better deal, but we could use that money too.
And in different ways.
Yes, that was what I was asking.
Can I add that while these would have been in the CIP at approximately the same time, that also means, though, that all of our CIP money would have been going to these projects versus, in this instance, we're still able to keep our schedule for the rest of the community on par while the state and other grants help pay for our largest encumbrance.
That was said way better than where I was going, but that's where I was headed, that that's the positive
Yes.
of this.
Trustee Papantos.
So just so I have this clear, we're going to get 10.1 million in projects for a cost of 154?
Yes, if you don't count the Rebuild Illinois money as money that we already have. So the $2.48 million is our money. And
right.
The state is saying, look, nothing ventured, nothing lost. It's money in your pocket anyway you look at it. A more traditional way of looking to expend that found money, if you will, would be to put it towards already identified capital improvement projects, which would be fine. And there's, because it's all gravy. It's not anything that we had contemplated before 2019. The nuance to this proposal is to try to take what we know we'll be getting and leverage it to cover what is going to be a much larger and necessary project.
Great. Thank you.
Thank you, everyone. All done, all done. So just encourage him and,
well,
yes, it's an idea discussion. I mean,
Please heap praise upon Director Cal. We wanted to make sure we were moving in the right direction, that's all.
yes, take the money.
And spend it.
We want to make sure we're applying it appropriately.
Yes. Okay.
That's ultimate.
The state is happy to do it from us. Let's do
So
it.
if everyone is amenable, what we would like to do then is, at the next set of meetings, bring to you for consideration a proposal with an agreement for the for the Phase 1 engineering services for Wheeling Road, so we can move along the STP grant process.
Trustee Vogel, are you amenable?
Sure.
Trustee Papantos?
Yes.
Trustee Vito?
Yes.
Trustee Rufato?
Yes.
Trustee Kruger?
Yeah.
Trustee Lang?
Yes.
I am amenable too. Take the money.
Thank you much. That's fun.
Well done.
Awesome. Official communications? Trustee Vito?
Can we take these boards down now?
I don't know, it was only this afternoon they said we could take down the masks if we have a tattoo across our head that says vaccinated.
Right.
Wasn't it something like that?
I don't know. We're all vaccinated.
I think that's a board decision. I will tell you the plexiglass at all the counters will remain up. But this is up to you.
I would leave it up for a while, just in case, like, we slip a phase or whatever. You guys want to comment on it?
Never be too safe.
What?
Never be too safe.
That's right.
I
Or
can
if
feel
somebody
the
decides
sarcasm
that we've
through the
slipped.
Right
plexiglass,
until they
Joe.
steal a year of your kid's life. But whatever, that's fine. We'll sit here
Shall we pull the board?
in our boxes. What's that?
Well, we're out of the house. Shall we pull the board? You want
Sure.
to? I want to take the glass up or down. Trustee Rufato?
I would keep it up for a little while, until June 14th, when we're going to be at full Phase 5, and then we're ready to go.
Trustee Kruger?
Yeah, I'm with him.
Trustee Lang?
Doesn't bother me.
Trustee Vito?
What happens on June 14th?
We're going to be in
Flag Day.
Phase 5. We're going to
What's that?
Phase 5.
Phase 5.
Fingers crossed.
Everything's
He
going to be
knows the
open.
science in advance? That's amazing.
I know.
It's amazing
I find
what
that
this guy
amazing.
knows. Okay, yes, I would say take him down.
Trustee Papantos?
I say take them down.
Trustee Vogel?
Take them down.
Oh, I'll say leave them up. I'll go with I broke the tie.
Mr. Horker, tear down this wall.
I have a suggestion. It appears this side wants them down. Can we just take ours down?
You know, as soon as they take them down, there's going to be like an influx or a second or third wave or something, and we're going to just be.
I'd like to make a comment, one unrelated to the plexiglass, which, Public Works did a great job. Tonight we had a number of petitioners come here, and we had no comments from the board, and I think that's just, I know it's a reflection of staff and the good job that they do in presenting these items for discussion for our vote, and they should be commended for that, because they do the information that we get is to the point and everything that we need. So thank you.
On behalf of all staff, thank you.
Thank you.
That being said, you have before you the bills for April 29th through May 12th, 2021. I need a motion for their approval.
So moved.
Second.
Trustee Vogel, second goes to Trustee Papantos. Roll call, please.
Trustee Kruger?
Yes.
Trustee Lang?
Yes.
Trustee Papantos?
Yes.
Trustee Rufato?
Yes.
Trustee Vito?
Yes.
Trustee Vogel?
Yes.
President Horker?
Yes. We have an executive session tonight. Everybody has to leave. The executive session is for the purposes of pending, probable, and/or imminent litigation. I need a motion
So moved.
Are you gonna?
Sorry, what?
Motion to adjourn the regular, I'm sure you have
I
that.
have it
Yes,
written
sir.
down. I was going to read it slowly and deliberately so that I didn't screw it up. Motion to recess into executive session and adjourn the regular meeting. Motion?
So moved.
Trustee Kruger, second.
Second.
Trustee Papantos, all in favor?
That's a roll call for
It
executive
says all in
session.
favor.
For executive session is a roll call.
Well, someone's fired.
Yes.
Roll call, please. I thought I read it.
Trustee Kruger?
Yes.
Trustee Lang?
Yes.
Trustee Papantos?
Yes.
Trustee Rufato?
Yes.
Trustee Vito?
Yes.
Trustee Vogel?
Yes.
President Horker?
Yes.
President Horker, go ahead. If we can remind the public that we will not be coming back out after executive session, the regular meeting is in fact adjourned. Thank you.
You got to go. Want to take a 5-minute break for anybody?